Today's video takes a look at the Judges Guild Fantastic Wilderlands Beyonde. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, where we celebrate the community of old school gamers and grognards who like classic RPGs, miniatures, magazines, and everything that goes with it. Today's video continues our series looking at the products of Judges Guild. This is another one of the products that came outside of the regular subscription service, so this was something you had to purchase on your own, and it continues the wilderness campaign world surrounding the city-state of the Invincible Overlord. Hope you enjoyed the video. So the next item we're looking at, this is item 67, and this is the Fantastic Wilderlands Beyonde. You get this this booklet here together with some of the excellent high-quality maps that these guys created back in the day. So let's dive in here and take a look at what you're going to get. This comes out at the end of 1978, Bob Bledsoe, and also with help from Mark Homer. This one would cost $8, which to my mind seems like it was a pretty big increase, but again, these are really excellent products. You get the 32-page, you get a 32-page booklet, and this one does not have a lot of reference charts. This is really just focused on the stuff that's going to be in this campaign setting. And then you get these maps, and just like before, they're they're 17 by 22, so they're pretty decent sized. And you get campaign, like this is map 7, and you turn it over, and then this is going to be map 8, and this is and we'll see this more close in a minute. This is like the Judges version, which has all the detail in it, and then there'd be a much sparser version, the same map but not a lot of detail, and that's the players. That's going to be the players version. You actually get a total of 4 maps of each, right? And so you get the Desert Lands, the Sea of 5 Winds, the Elephant Lands. I keep thinking that's the Elephant Lands, but it's the Elephant Lands, and Lanap. I do point out for those who care about these little, I think, interesting little details here on the, I'll hold it up so you can see it maybe, here on the actual map itself, maybe that's a typo, right? Because the E's missing, E-L-P-H-A-N-D. So Elfand or Elephant Lands, in any event, that's what you got in this set. And I think these are just fantastic. The truth of the matter is, Bob Bledsoe's City State of the Invincible Overlord campaign, I'm going to make the statement, I think that could be the campaign for any setting from 1970s to today. It may be the best, most interesting and inspiring campaign setting available. I know it's going to upset the Forgotten Realms folks, and certainly I'm a huge fan of Greyhawk, which was the original D&D setting, and it's excellent. But there's something about Bledsoe's work and all of the interesting, inspirational story leads that are there. The only thing you don't get as high quality here is the adventures that are set inside of it. But if you were a referee and just said, I'm going to set my campaign world, it's going to be my world, I'm going to drive everything, the story, the campaigns, the adventures are all going to be my own creation, I think you'd be really well served to consider using this. And we'll obviously look at the product today and talk a little bit more about it. Here's the cover, the Fantastic Wilderlands Beyonde. You see you've got this art by Cheryl England here on the front. It's looks like some type of an adventurer, maybe just a warrior, obviously a guy in armor. He's holding up his staff, and it looks like there's a caravan coming behind him, and maybe he's signaling to them that the way forward is clear. I'm not sure. And of course, smoke comes up in the background, makes it look like there's some type of fire. As I mentioned, you'll get double-sided maps, 2 campaign sections, one on the front, one on the back, and you get referees with detail and the players, and then here's the other one. For those who are interested in collecting, there are 3 different versions or printings of this. This is the first printing, and the first thing you'll notice right away is the amount of blue, so like that blue sky and a little patch of blue on the guy's front. This is a first printing. You also see the wording up there, the Judges Guild, an official game for D&D, the location of the price and the number 67. That all is going to change here in the second printing, but the blue is the obvious thing you notice, because here is the second printing. This is the printing that I have, It's all white, right? So the color's gone. Everything, well, there's a little bit of green on there, I suppose. The 67's real small over to the left, and the $8 small to the right now. And then the wording has changed. Dungeons and Dragons and Judges Guild are bigger and shuffled around a little bit. There's also a third printing that had this color cover on the front, and obviously completely different artwork. Okay, so inside page, you see here, Bob Letzo, Mark Holmer, credited as designers. Assistant designers Mark Summerlot and Mike Petrowski. Not really sure what those folks did. And then illustrations by Cheryl England, who was a staff artist who did a lot of art. Pixie Bledsaw, who I think is his daughter, and Dave Saring. And we'll look at each of their art towards the end of the video. Copyright 1978, and reference over. This is an official licensed D&D product. Here's our table of contents. As I said, no sort of rules or charts of other things. This is just everything in here in the booklet is really just focused on fleshing out these campaign settings. So we start with the first map, 7 desert lands, villages, castles, islands, ruins. Then the Sea of the 5 Winds, castles and citadels, idyllic islands, ruins, and some lured layers. Those are for monsters. A little artwork on one page, and then the Elephant lands, villages, castles, layers, islands, ruins, and then Lanap villages. Same thing, and at the very end, the booty list, which is their product list. Here's some abbreviations they say they use in here, especially when they stat out NPCs. They've got classes, levels, stats levels, stuff like that. Here's the original map, and that circle right there shows you where the city-state of the Invincible Overlord is. And you can sort of see his campaign world. And again, just this, again, not a huge amount. There's obviously much more to the world than you can see, but this is enough for years and years of adventuring. And the various products we cover here that they produce through the years are more than enough to keep your campaign going for, as long as it's going to go on. This is showing you where the original maps were 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and those came in an earlier product, right? And here's the map that shows you more numbered systems. So like today we have 7, 8, map 9, and map 10 are what we're going to get in this product. Here's our first one. This is the Desert Lands campaign. This is map 7, and you can see here the detail that you would get if you were the judge, and then obviously look at how little detail you get if you're the player. And I really think the idea was you gave them these maps, which are excellent, high-quality maps, and today I'd never want to draw on them, right? But I think the idea at the time was your characters would draw in the detail as they discovered it. Let's look at what's inside the booklet. So first, remember, they have a hex mapping system, and if I hold this up a little closer, you can see each of those little hexes that are on there. And if you can't see it here, but if you had it in front of you, each of those hexes has a really light number written into it. And so that orients all your hexes on the overall world. And so in these particular hexes, they're saying we have villages. They give you the name of the principal person there, their population, type of people that live there. This number ties back to the type of civilization, its alignment. The name of the village, and then here's the name of the ruler and some stats that gives you their class, their level, their race, etc. And the principal resources that they are known for, they have available for trade. And then below the line, we have some more villages, okay? Then we have locations on here where there would be a castle or a citadel, and similar thing, they tell you which it is, they tell you the class of the person who is the ruler, that person's level and alignment. And then some lurid layers, and the lurid layers that are here actually give you a location, and you're going to find, I'll call them wandering monsters, except for they're in that hex. So, there might be scorpions, baboons, camels, leopards, toads, lions, spiders, blink dogs, cobras, etc. And then they just give you, sort of pre-populate those potential encounters for you. Then we have idyllic islands, and this is where this product really, in my view, starts to shine. This has, obviously, the hex on the left number, and then a little description, and that's all you get. It's like pages of adventure hooks, really, I think, right? So like the first one, here's this island. A dense blue fog covers the 2 neighboring islands from dusk to dawn. The fog will cause anyone spending the night to lose their hair. No saving throw. I don't know about that. A band of small dogs that inhabit the island remain in the halls of a beached merchant galley. They eat the roots of leafless gray trees scattered throughout the island to prevent the loss of their hair from the fog. And I mean, that could be it, but that could also be a stepping off point for a creative DM to do something much more interesting with that, right? And every one of these has something like that to it. Then we have, again, the ruins and the relics. And so it's the same thing, the hex number here on the left, and then this little blurb from their creative juices that give you something to step off on. I'm looking at a random one here. A glove, an astrolabe, a lantern, and wrought iron table are buried in a sandy pit. 60 foot to the east, the charred remains of a stagecoach lies on its side. Who knows what that takes you to, right? A cave filled with thousands of bats hanging upside down from the hewn ceiling. There's a 42-foot skeleton of a giant. Cut deeply into the cave wall is the name, Nimen Icum. If pronounced aloud, the skeleton will jerk. Huge beams support the walls. Right? So just these little tiny blurbs of creativity, and then everything. I mean, that could be it. There's nothing else to tell, or that's the start of an entire dungeon encounter, an adventure, a quest that you might end up going on. Who knows? But you can see just 3 pages of that for this section. Now we have the Sea of the Five Winds, and obviously there's a huge coastal section here on the left, a really, really large island out there, and some smaller islands peppered around. As before, the players don't get as much detail. So here we have our villages, and then at the bottom, some castles and citadels along the coast. Idyllic islands, obviously 2 pages full of this, and again, really interesting stuff with little blurbs to get you started, or just to be the beginning and end of a fairly straightforward and short encounter. And then the Sea of the Five Winds, the ruins, and we've got 4.5 pages here of this stuff, and it's just, like I said, I think just paragraph, great adventure hook. And if you like a sandbox campaign, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. You get a little bit of detail and a lot of opportunity for you as the dungeon master to create something really interesting from each of these. Here are the lurid lairs. These are the hexes that already have some type of monster or other encounter, animals or some other encounter already spelled out for you. Now we're in the Elfland or the Elephant lands. This is map 9. Look at all this detail. We've got these mountains and streams and lakes and forest, all kinds of really, I think, encounter areas that could be great starting points for adventure. Down at the very bottom, you have this area. It's called the Plain of Leth. Then you go into the forests, and then at the very top, like you have this top left, there's the Land of the Beasts. I don't know what that is, but it sounds really enticing to me. And again, this map just seems full of adventure hooks. Here is the player's map, very sparse. You can see it's just enough to get you started. Follow this river up, there's going to be a lake. Oh, there's a little bit of this and that. And the Land of the Beasts, of course, is labeled up there in case that's a place you want to try and adventure towards. Again, we have villages, location, name of the village, population, principal type of race that lives there, level of civilization, general alignment, ruler, and their principal resources. Some castles and citadels located around here, and also the lurid lairs are here, again with animals or monsters that are preset to be in a particular hex. Some idyllic islands, just a couple, but these are a little more fleshed out with something really interesting going on, I think, than some of the others we've seen. And then we have some actual relics or magic items stuck in here. The Great Staff of Ornzak functions as a staff of wizardry, +3 on your saving throws, reduces the saving throws of opponents, charm person once a day, charm monster once a day, shape change once per week, and then a blurb of background about this. And then the Wand of Morak the Unwise, cold spell, striking spell, invisibility, and web. The Wand of Kal Nag, fireball, continual light, paralyzation, whirlwind, and can summon, I guess, elementals. And then the Wand of Shane the Tiger Eye, lightning bolt, telekinesis, wall of fire, and air and water elementals. And it talks about these wands come from, I think, the sons of this guy, Ornzak, and they each have a wand, and they're trying to get the wands from each other. But anyway, just a little bit of interesting stuff there. And now we have what they call the ruins and relics, but this 3 pages are just ruins, little blurbs to get you started on something you encounter in random places around the map. And finally, we have the Lenap campaign map number 10. Again, it's a coastal area. The players don't get much of anything here besides the coastline. Some villages, castles and citadels, a whole bunch of information about some different islands. And again, the ruins and the relics, 3 pages here of little blurbs to get you started in different hexes. And their lurid lairs, which are the pre-populated monsters or animals in certain places. And that's it for the detail. And like I said, I went through that pretty fast, but I think you can get a sense. You could spend hours reading through those little blurbs, and maybe not every one of them, but a lot of them are going to inspire you to sit down as a creative referee or DM and start writing out something more elaborate that's going to come from that, right? And that's why I say this product is so fantastic for a referee who wants to build out a home campaign. And maybe you're not good at building maps and coming up with this starting points, but you're really good at taking the spark and then turning it into something, right? And this would be a fantastic campaign for you because there's so much interesting detail. And like I said, just so many starting points for those who like to run that kind of campaign. Here's how they do their booty list, if you will. It's 2 pages where they show you some specific products or the highlights of their collection. And then this is, the booty list is now, at this point, this is second printing called the Treasure Vault. And you can see it runs, if you see the numbers here of their products, it goes through number 119, the Tower of Elysian, which is the highest numbered one. That's another way you can sort of tell the time period when something's printed based on the highest number on a page like this. All right, let's look at some of the art. First, we look at the art of, and I get myself out of the way, we get the art of Cheryl England, who was a staff artist and did a lot of art in a lot of products. A couple of adventures here. Then we get this town that she's drawn, potentially as one of the towns you would encounter. And then just some random stuff. Looks like a Conan barbarian type guy talking to a woman, treasure chest, and just a little scene there on the side. And another little town setting or drawing. This is Pixie Bledsoe. She has 2 things in here. The thing on the left, I think it looks like a tavern. I mean, there's a drunk person with a spilled goblet at a table, and then some people back in the corner laughing, and then someone's passed out right on the door, it looks like. And then over on the right, look at this crazy scene, right? You've got this spider lady, spider face, it looks like to me, but then like bones for arms and legs. There's a part of a head, oh, maybe her female face has fallen off, and now you see her bug face. Maybe that's what happened. And then there's this guy, looks like he's wrapped up in spaghetti in her spider web, and I think he's about to get eaten. And then finally, we've got this art, which I'm pretty sure is Dave Saring. It looks like the initials are DSL, actually, but anyway, Dave Saring, a very different style from the others. And this was in the center of the booklet, and then Dave has also got the art here that's on the back cover. Really cool sword with some flames coming up. So that is it for our look at Judges Guild, the Fantastic Wilderlands Beyonde, a continuing series of products, booklets, and maps to flesh out the larger world around the city-state of the invincible overlord. There will be another series here that has a booklet with maps, just like this product, and there's also the city-state of the world emperor, who is even above the invincible overlord. And so that's another product we'll take a look at here as we move forward. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you're enjoying this series, and I hope you're subscribed. If you have friends who might enjoy our content, please send them our way. Hopefully they'll be subscribers as well. Have a great day, Until next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.